Hello, my YouTube family and friends. I pray that everyone is having a beautiful, blessed Sunday evening. I wanted to upload one more video for today, and I've really been wanting to talk about this and kind of separate it. I've shared parts of it about Uber, but I wanted to go more in depth about it, my experience with Uber. So I didn't even realize, of course, a lot of you all know I don't have a car right now. Haven't had a car since last year, July of last year. My car got repoed, and so that put me into having to get, a Uber, get an Uber. So I didn't know how to do any of that at first, and my youngest daughter, before she went off to college, she was like, "Mom, you just download the app on your phone," and I was like, "I don't know how to do all that," and so she was helping me. So she was actually ordering my Ubers for me. I get off work and she'll say the Uber outside, or he on his, or they on their way, and of course she could see who it was because she had the app, and so I was just being I'm just being honest, I was being a little lazy because had her doing that, and then it was one day she was like, "Mama, you could just do it yourself," and I was like, "Yeah, but you do it better." So I just wanted her to do it for me. But anyway, I finally downloaded it on my phone, and so I was like, "Oh, that's pretty neat." And so, "Oh, we could just order you an Uber," okay, okay. And so I got used to how to do it and everything. And I was like, and she said, "See, Mom, I told you it wasn't hard." And I was like, "Yeah, but it felt weird. It was something new. And sometimes when I got to do something new, I don't take to it right away. I'm just like, oh, but then I get used to it. I'm good. And so I just didn't know anything about it. And so I heard people talking about it, but I didn't know a lot about it. And so, like I said, I downloaded it on my phone, and then, it was there. So I get off work, and a little bit, maybe, sometime right at the time I would get off work, because then I was getting off at 3:30, because my shift has changed now, but I was getting off at 3:30 then. And so right at I do an Uber right at 3:30, because I knew it was going to, take a little while to get there. And then a lot of times I had to close out, my computer and all that. So I'm like, well, it's going to at least be 15 minutes till I get down to the to the where the Uber at. Had to go downstairs and stuff. So anyway, I would allot that time or whatever. And so I got used to, how to do it and how to work it and stuff, the app and stuff. And but y'all, a lot of times I would get it show you the face on there, who you got, who gonna come get you, this, that, and the other. And I'll be like, okay. And then it's changed, because they'll say, it's too far, or they're not in that vicinity or something or whatever. So you'll change. I'm like, oh, what happened? And so, like I said, I got so used to knowing how much time, because it'll say, we'll be here in 8 minutes, or be here in 12 minutes, or, and then sometimes if they say too long, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, I cancel that one and I go do another one, because I'm like, I'm ready to go home. And a lot of this was when we were living with the lady from church. And so I had to go farther. I was 30 minutes out. And so that I think that had a lot to do with it too. And then the price too, because I was paying at least 20. I was paying about $20 each ride. And then I remember on Mondays and Fridays, Monday morning, I get up, like in the morning, I would get up and I'd be trying to do an Uber, and it'd say $30 sometime, or 26 or 27. And I'm like, what? And then on all the other days, it'll say 19 or 16 or $15. And I'm like, oh, wow, So I got to deduct that and redo my money, for the week or whatever. Because I gotta do Uber to and from work for the whole week. And so, yeah, it was hard. And so, but God, he helped me through it. And so I would going back to the job. So I knew how much time I had, and so they, like I said, they would switch, the face would switch out, and they say they'll be here in 8, 9 minutes. So I had a little system. I get off the elevator and I go sit in a little lobby area. And I just sit there, and a lot of people, the people I work with, they walking by, hey, you still here? Like, yeah. Because some days I would have gotten off work and I'd be waiting at least 30 minutes sometime. It just depends on, if they were busy or whatever. And so my daughter used to say, Mama, you need to do it, time it where it'll be there. And I said, well, a lot of times I don't be ready though. When, I don't want to do it too soon, because I got to close, I had to close out and get my bags together, and just, so, some of that was my fault, because I wasn't ready to order the Uber. But anyway, when I was staying with the lady from church, in the mornings, I would, order one. And I was actually having to do that when we were staying in an extended stay hotel. I had to do it. But we were still close to my job at that time. And so I would only have to do it on the way back home because my son would take me, to work. And so on his way to work. So I only had to do it, on the way back home. And that sort of felt it made me feel some type of way because, that was going back to a hotel, but we had to do what we had to do because we stayed there for about 2 weeks, extended stay hotel. And then when we moved in with the lady from church, and I'm sorry, I did it. I don't think I did it. I didn't have to do it. I think we stayed in Motel 6, but because that was just over the weekend. But when we moved in with the lady from church, like I said, she was taking me to work, back and forth. But then she started working, and so I could, I had to Uber. And then my son, that's when they left and went back to Tennessee for a little while. So I didn't have, I had to get to and from work. And like I said, she lived 30 minutes away from my job. And y'all, I was like, okay, Lord, you with me. You with me. You gonna help me through this. And, I couldn't get mad because, it's nobody's fault but mine. I don't have a car, but it was just, it was to an extent, it was okay. But at the same time, you got to wait on the people, you got to wait on them to come get you, which that's fine. That's part of it. But then, a lot of times it was just what you had to deal with. So for the most part, though, I had good experiences with Uber drivers. I don't really have a complaint. They were all nice to me, and a lot of them I would be, witnessing to about Jesus. For the most part, they were really nice. I don't really have anything bad to say about any of them. Some of them I could tell right away, they didn't want to talk. It was evident they did not want to talk. Some of them had some of them had the music blasting. So that means don't talk to me. I don't want to talk. Hear nothing you gotta say. I don't want to hear you, and I don't want you. You ain't gotta hear nothing I gotta say. And then some of the cars were really nice, but I can say most of the drivers I had, they were male. And even my youngest son, he said, "Mama, you never had?" I said, "Well, I think I had maybe a few women, but most of them were male, older." And so they were real nice and everything. And I'd be looking at the car like, "Oh, this is a nice car." But I never forget, I got in one of the Uber rides one morning, and the man, we were just small talking, and he said, "Your car in the shop? That's why you doing Uber?" I said, "No, my car got repoed." And he looked in the rearview mirror like, "What?" Because it was like he was not expecting me to say that. And I was like, "Yeah, I said, "Well, that's the truth." And he said, "Wow." He said, "Well, look at it this way. You don't have to pay a car note right now." And he said, "This is cheaper than a car note." I said, "Yeah, it is. It is." But like I said, I would always look at the positive side of it. Yeah, I can get back and forth to work, and I can I'm gonna have a ride to and from work guaranteed. But like I said, a lot of times it depends on, the days. If I worked over or something, I would have to wait. The wait time I noticed on Mondays and Fridays was significantly higher than the other days. I noticed that, and the price. I guess they were just super busy. And so, like I said, I would get up at her house on Monday morning, and I had to be at work at then I had to be ready at 7. And I said, when I got where I knew about when to do the Uber. So I said, okay, I order it at 6:20, or it'd be 6:30, because it took 20 minutes. Really, it took 20 minutes to get there, but give or take. But I knew, how much time I had to do. But then sometimes I would be off a little bit because I would have to wait. They'll say, well, the wait time is 5 minutes, or, it'll be extra time I had to wait. So I'm like, oh. So, I have to keep canceling until I get a drive, somebody to come pick me up. And then on the way home, like I said, it wouldn't be so bad coming back home, but going back to her house. But like I said, we were so far from, she lived 30 minutes, really 30 minutes out. And so that was part of it too. Because even my youngest son said, he said, "Mama, that's what's going on. They having to go a little ways, and that's why the price." I said, "Yeah, that's what it is." But like I said, going back to the conversation and people. So like I said, a lot of them, they were super nice. Most of the cars were pretty clean. Most of them like they were sort of new. But they had to, someone had a little seat cover in the back seat. But to be honest, y'all, a lot of times it was it started getting uncomfortable. And not because of anything they did or said, but it was just start feeling a little, strange. Because I'm like, I'm in somebody else's car. Yeah, I paid them to ride, because back in the day, we had cabs. And back in Tennessee, and I guess they still got them, I guess, whatever. But, they did that. And so then the Uber thing came along, whatever. But I was like, in Lyft, but I was like, you know, this person, you just got a profile of them and they picture or whatever. So I'm like, well, whatever. But I never felt unsafe or anything like that, because I always would tell my children where I was at. And I say, well, the Uber just picked me up, blah, blah, blah. I'm on my way home, whatever. And I'll send them a picture, a text, or whatever. But, it was just a lot of interesting rides, to be honest, because like I said, I learned a lot about people, which I love people. I love talking. Like I said, a lot of them, I would get in their car and I say, you having a good day? A lot of them would say their shift just started, because they would, would have just started doing the Uber stuff, driving and picking up. And then someone would say, they only do it for a few hours, so I was just trying to talk to them and, and things like that, and witness to them. Some of them would right away start talking about Jesus. And y'all, I did. I had a really good experience. I didn't have really, I don't think I had any bad experience at all. It was very positive. And like I said, I respect people. There was this one older gentleman. He had picked me. He picked me up twice, and he said, "I think I picked you up before." And I said, "I think you have too." And it was just random, But he said, and he said, I think you have too." And so he was just real. He loved talking, I could tell. And so I was just listening, he just wanted somebody to listen to him. We were talking about old TV shows, and so it was just really a blessing. There was this one man, I got in his car. He picked me up twice too. And he's telling me about his family, his wife, and his children and stuff. And we started talking about church and everything early in the morning, y'all. And he was telling me that because I got in the car and I was looking for something, and he said you could turn the light on back there or something. I said, no, I'm okay. But I was digging through my purse for something, for gum or something. And I said, thank you, though. And he said, it was something after that he said, and then I said, yeah, I got to start. That's what it was. Thank you, Holy Spirit. That's what it was. I was looking for my phone to read the devotional for that day. And so I told him, I said, I got to have Jesus. I gotta get started with Jesus. And he said, oh, Jesus. And then he changed the radio station to, I think he put on Kirk Franklin. He said, you like Kirk Franklin station? And I said, yeah, and so he put on gospel station. And I said, look at God, early in the morning, y'all, early in the morning. And, it was just like he was trying to accommodate me. But that's one thing I can say. A lot of them, they were very accommodating. You get in their car and they have some nice, easygoing music on, or seemed like they had the kind of music. I got in one man's car and he had some R&B, like back in the day R&B music. And I'm like, how did he know I used to listen to that? Well, he didn't know. He just, that's what he liked listening to. But the only time I think was sort of a little strange, but I had the mindset that's their car. I can't. You don't get it. You don't get in nobody else's car and tell them to turn no music down and tell them to do nothing. That's their vehicle that they are using to transport you to and from a place. So, but there was this one car I got in, and the music, y'all, was so loud. That I can't remember if that was a woman or a man driving, but I was a woman. Yeah, it was a young woman. And I was like, ooh, my eardrums gonna bust when I get out of here, because that music was loud, y'all. And I was like, wonder why it's so loud? But I just, I never said nothing. I just sat back there and I was looking out the window, because I have respect for people. And like I said, I don't know why. I mean, she had the music so loud. But you don't know what type of day people are having. You don't know what type of day they've had. And it could have been to keep me from talking. Maybe she didn't want to talk. That was her way of, I don't know. But then I had this one young man. He really blessed me, and I pray I blessed him. he was letting me know, young guy, he had a really nice car. He was probably maybe late 20s, maybe mid to late 20s, but he was so nice, y'all, and so respectable. And I got in the car and we sort of wasn't talking at first, but towards almost right before he would, I would get out the car when I got to the condo, this condo we're living in now. He told me, he said, how people get in his car, and he said some of them, they just talking about nothing. He said some of, he's just telling me the different experiences. And I said, well, I said, look at it this way. I said, and he said, sometimes people want to talk and sometimes they don't want to talk. And he said, sometimes I don't know what to do. And I told him, I said, well, I said, but either way it goes, I said, you got purpose. I said, maybe sometimes people just want you to listen to them, or maybe they don't want to talk at all. I said, but, I think that's really, I was telling him, I think that's good of you, young man, to even notice that. Like, you're just not driving to and from, every day. You're noticing how people are and their behaviors. He said, yeah. He said, sometimes I don't like talking. And I said, yeah, and you have that right. That's what I told him. I said, and he said, but sometimes they get in my car and they just want to talk. And see, that was God, y'all, because we didn't actually start talking, or he didn't really start communicating to me till almost when he's getting ready to drop me off. Because it was sort of quiet the whole time. And like I said, God will allow me to know. He'll give me a discerning spirit, and I'll know, like, when to shut up, get in the car, shut up. And I just be on my phone or whatever. But then there's some that automatically, before I can close the door, when they don't pick me up, they talking. We just talking. We having a good old time, But then there's some, it's silence. It's silence the whole way to the whole ride there. And I had my coworker laughing. I said, I guess sometimes they say she chatty Cathy, because I just like to talk, and I'm not, it ain't no useless talking. I like, I think my talking is pretty, pretty good conversation. But, again, if you've been driving all day, and that's why I would get in there, because I started having the mindset, sometimes people just don't want to be bothered, and some of them may or may not even want to do that. They may not even want to be having to do that, but they have to do it. One man was telling me that he was doing it to pay medical bills, and then, everybody had their different reasons for doing it. And then some of them I would ask, how long you been doing this? Just trying to have friendly conversation, because, like I said, you just never know how you will lighten somebody's day or mood or whatever. And I always ask God to use me in that way, because I care about what somebody else is going through. I ain't just sitting in there, just get me to my place, And a lot of times I would get in the car, and when we lived with that lady from church, I would be like, I gotta go back to her house. But I was trying to be as upbeat as I could, and it was just so many different scenarios, y'all. Situations, people was telling me things they were going through, and, you get to talking to them. And one lady was saying how she was having a real hard time paying her bills. Said she was doing the best she could do with Uber and different stuff. And I was, and I would always add them to my prayer list and say, God gonna take care of you and your family, So, and I would tell the lady who we lived with, I said, because I kind of felt for a little bit, God allowed her to stop taking me to work because he wanted me to do that. I really feel like that now. He had purpose for me to ride in those Ubers. And you could say, well, you needed a ride, you ain't have no car, your car got repoed. No, it was more than that. It was simply for the fact he had purpose in that, though. Everything God do is purpose in it. And I really feel like that's what it was. And I would tell her, and she just kind of look at me. But I said, because she was like, you like riding in Uber? She was looking at me like, you good? You like riding in Ubers? But it wasn't even, it had gotten to be more than that, And I, like I said, I had my coworker laughing, me and her was talking, and I said, I'll tell you tomorrow, I'd be leaving for the day. I said, I'll tell you tomorrow who I had for the night. We just kind of laugh or whatever. But it was all good. But I tell her the next morning. And then there's this one guy, going back to the lady we live with. So yeah, I would tell her, I said, I feel like God is using me, riding in these Ubers, even though I do need a ride to and from work, but I feel like he's using me, you know, to witness about him and to others. And so she kind of, yeah, you know, like, yeah, right. You know, like she was like, yeah, right. You just need a ride to and from work. But like I said, I had gotten my mindset where I knew, you know, how to do it and everything. And I said, Lord, I thank you. You know, I'm doing something I never had to do before. I've always had a car. And I said, but like I said, I would get in their car and I would totally respect their car. And they'll be trying to tell you to get comfortable. And I'm just sitting straight up, you know, because I'm like this, you know. And like I said, most of the cars were really nice. They were really nice. You could tell that a lot of them take care of their cars. They keep them maintained and everything, you know, because you would sit on the back seat back there and they have a cover over the seat. And but then it was some I would get in and you could tell yeah, they've been Ubering for a little while. They just trying to make it, you know. But yeah, so like I said, I have high respect for people who, you know, willing to let people. I know they doing it for, you know, they get paid from doing it, but they, you know, they don't have to do it, you know. And I think that's really nice that, you know, they want to offer their car for you to ride in. And like I said, yes, they getting paid to do it, but you know, I'm like, wow, you know, that's a really good service. But going back to I wanted to share about, it was somebody else. Oh, so it's a young man. So he was, I don't know if he was trying I don't know how to take that, but he was so nervous with me and I was like, why am I making him nervous? And so it was so funny. He got out of the car when he dropped me off at work. Nice looking young man, but he was real young. He was probably in his either late 20s or early 30s. But when he dropped me, we had a real conversation that morning. I mean, really good conversation. We were talking about, because I think he had a side job. I think he sold houses or something. But we had a really good talk, and I was like, "It's a nice young man." And so it was funny when we got out the car. I mean, when he got me to the job, he got out of the car and he went to the trunk. And he got out. No, I'm sorry. He got out of he stopped the car because I'm at work. You know, he dropped me off at work, and he got out of the out of his driver's seat, and he came to my side. You know, I'm sitting behind him, and he opened the door, and I was like, "What is he doing?" And so me and him both bust out laughing. And he said, "Man, I'm so sorry." He said, and I I don't know why I did that." And I said, that's okay, young man." I said, it's okay." I said, "The morning just getting started." And so we just laughed because I think he had him some coffee. He said, "I'm gonna drink the rest of my coffee or whatever." So we kind of laughed or whatever. But he said, "I don't even know why I did that." And I said, that's okay. So I just thought that was sort of funny. But anyway, he said, "I don't know why did I," he said, "I guess I thought you had bags or something." And I said, "No, I just got my work bag." But you know, so that was funny. But then like I said, it was just that the one man that I was referring to that picked me up in a nice car. One of the men that picked me up in a nice car, he had picked me up twice. He was telling me about his family member had experienced death as well, and because I was telling him about my late husband. And he, you know, me and him was talking, and he's talking about his wife and the church and stuff. We were just talking about family, and telling me how we moved here from Tennessee and stuff. And we just had a really good conversation. And he was just saying, you know, he said, yeah, he said, God he has purpose in everything he does. And I think he was sort of older. I think he was older than me, maybe in his 60s or so. But we had a really good talk. Both times that he picked me up, and because both times he picked me up for work, to take me to work. I don't think he ever took me home. But it was just really, and then I remember this one guy, he was telling me, because it was like I knew all of them. Some of them I got doubled twice, but some of them I never seen again. But I just like I said, I love people. I like talking. And so this one man was telling me, he said, you know, I do this Monday through, I think he said Monday through Thursday, I think. And he said, on Friday, it's my rest day. He said, I make all my money them 4 days. And I said, really? He said, yeah. He said, I don't have to work on Friday. Because he was telling me that all his tips come from the airport. And he said he made real good in that. And he said he don't even have to work on Friday. I said, well, that's a blessing. And so he was the one that was telling me he asked me about was my car in the shop. I said, no, it just got, yeah, it is in the shop. It's in the repo shop. So we were laughing about that. But like I said, y'all, all of them were real nice. Some of them were super young. Some of them were, maybe a little older, my age, older, whatever. And then this one young lady, it was one day I had there were two women that took me, one older woman took me to work, young woman took me home, took me from work. And both of them blessed me, y'all, tremendously that day. And the older woman that took me to work, me and her were talking, and we just got really in a really big conversation about Jesus. And, she was telling me how she really values her life. And she said, something could happen to me, and I may not even make it home today. And I said, yeah. I said, because we were talking about the importance of living our life and being thankful in the moment. And because I said, we're not promised, the next hour. And so we were just really into talking about Jesus and everything. And y'all, she just had me almost in tears going into work, because it was such a blessing to talk to her. And I can't remember, but I feel like somebody in her family had passed away or something. But anyway, we were just talking about the Lord. And she was saying, she said she was going to be praying for me and everything. I said, I'm going to be praying for you too. And I think she had one child. I want to say it was a son. But anyway, it was just a blessing. And then the young lady who took me home, she was telling me about her little child or something. And we were just talking and stuff. And she was saying she was doing that, to pay her bills and stuff and help her baby. So like I said, y'all, if nothing else, like I said, I was trying to tell the lady I lived with then, how it was blessing me. Because, a lot of times people, things that you have to do or whatever, they look down upon, frown upon, like, because to be honest, I sort of was a little embarrassed about doing it at first. Because I was like, oh, now it's really, evident that I don't have a car, because I got to call somebody else to pick me up. And so, but then, then I kind of would hold my head up high, because I'm like, well, I'm paying them to do this, so it ain't too bad. But it's still, it just still didn't sit right with me. But then, I would have my days, go back and forth. And, some days I would look forward to it, and some days I would feel some type of way, But then the Lord reminded me, he said, and everything that you go through, that I go through, that you go through, there's purpose in it, And, he said, he told me, you ain't got no reason to be embarrassed. You got to ride to work. You got to ride from work. And I had people at my job, they knew my car got repoed. Manager did, everybody. And they was like, you Uber, that's expensive. I said, yeah, but, how am I going to get to work? I got to get to work. I got to get home, And like I said, a lot of times I would go to lunch, and I just walk around, because when I had my car, I would go sit in my car and drink my tea or water, juice, whatever, and eat my lunch or whatever. But after my car got repoed, and I just walk around the parking lot, my purse on my shoulder, and be thinking about, okay, got to get my man ready and get ready to get off, because that was around 12. So in 3 hours, I was getting off, because I got off at 3:30 then. So I was trying to, get my man ready to get ready to go home, But the truth of the matter is, we do what we have to do. And like I said, I wasn't just ecstatic about it, but it had to be done. I had to get home. I had to get to work. But in all of that, y'all, I did. There were a lot of mornings that I felt some type of way about it, but then it made me feel some type of way. It made me feel really good, because I'm like, wow, this is a new me. I'm doing what I need to do. I'm doing what I got to do. Whatever I got to get to work. I have to get to work. How else I'm gonna get there? Because like I said, at this time, my son, I didn't have access to his car, so they had went back. So I didn't have a choice. For a whole month, I had to do that. And when he came back, I didn't have to do it because we adjusted our shifts. But for that whole month, that's what I did. That's what I had to deal with. And it seemed like it was, instead of a month, it seemed like it was a year. Because I was, I will always be looking at my account, my bank account. Like, them days at $30 a hit. Then I look at, that was just $15. And then that was another thing. So ride share, I think that's what it's called. I did that once, and I was like, okay, I don't like that. I don't want to do that again. And because they end up taking the other person home, but I think that's how it works. They take the person that's already in the car. They take them home first. But anyway, I didn't like that. It's split. I think it splits it in half the price, but. I said I just paid the whole $20 because I like having the car backseat to myself. So anyway, I did it one time, and I didn't do it anymore after that. But I had been I had been doing it so much, y'all, that I was getting that's when I had Uber Eats, and I'm gonna talk about that on another video. But I was getting a lot of promos or whatever because I was doing it every day. And then I look on my thing, they'll give you like a little I forget what you call it, some dollars or that cash, or I don't know what, Uber cash or something, but it wouldn't be but like $1 or $2, something like that. But then I think they rate you too. The drivers rate you on how you interact with them, and you can rate them too. But like I said, I always gave for the most part, I gave all of them a good rating and stuff like that. But it was just the only one I think that that didn't, like, the Uber didn't even happen, was some kind of way the dress. I don't know what happened that night, but I was trying to get picked up. I think I had worked over that night, and this was last year. But I picked or was it last year? Because it's February. I think it was last year. And he had the address changed or something. Instead of my work address picking me up, it was another address, which was like across the street from my job. And so I was like, where is he at? Because I had been sitting there waiting for a little minute. And he said, I'm here. They message you. And come to find out, I guess when I was doing the address or something, it clicked on something else. I don't know, but they gave my money back. Because he fractioned my money back, and because he never, he didn't pick me up. But I ended up, I think my son ended up I just ended up waiting on him because I had been waiting for so long. So anyway, it worked out. And I got home, or somebody may have come and picked me up, another Uber driver. I can't remember, but I remember it was last year. So that was the only time I had, and that was just a computer glitch or whatever. But like I said, for the most part, they were all nice to me. And y'all, when I say I had good conversation, I had some really meaningful conversations with a lot of them. And like I said, I was able to respect them. They respected me. And like I said, I had never did that before, but it was a good experience overall. It was a good experience. And like I said, I suggest that, I recommend that, and of course I know everybody do that now just about. But like I said, for a little while, when it first started, I was a little ashamed about doing it because I'm like, I don't know these people, but all the ones I had, they were super nice, super friendly, and they did what they needed to do. They got me to work, and they got me from work. So so I pray that this video blesses you. I just want to share my Uber experience with you all. And I pray that you always hear Jesus speaking through me and not just me. Have a beautiful, blessed Sunday night. Get some rest. We're going to do this next week all over again. God is already there. I pray that the Lord continues to encamp his holy angels around you and your family both day and night. Have sweet dreams in the mighty name of Jesus. I love you, but remember, Jesus loves you so much more. Always remember, the best is still yet to come for you and for me. God bless you. God keep you. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.